Hello everyone and welcome to my Bachelor Nation official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and gives this video a thumbs up. Despite the dramatic nature of The Bachelor, certain contestants, such as Zoe McGrady, have a reputation for being extremely troublesome. With all the women competing for Grant Ellis' attention, there have been a number of contentious occasions. Grant was the first lead to be announced prior to the opening of applications, hence his season has created history. Because of this, every participant on The Bachelor Season 29 went into the competition with the goal of winning Grant over. Fights started early in typical Bachelor manner. As the fourth week of the program draws to a close, several ladies have come under fire for taking up all of Grant's time. Because she consistently causes drama and treads on toes, Zoe is still a disliked contestant in the house. The other women have grown increasingly agitated. Producers have found her competitive nature to be entertaining, but tensions are bound to flare. She is clearly on the program to stir things up, as evidenced by her self-serving behavior and capacity to infuriate the competitors. During the first group date, the celebrity attracted attention. The women were divided into two groups, half were to compete in a basketball match, while the other half were to perform a song. Zoe, who belongs to the earlier group, went into the date with a vicious aim. Instead of taking her turn when the women started rehearsing their slam dunks, Zoe insisted on robbing Grant of her personal time. Given that her practice shot would have taken seconds, the women were both surprised and irritated. Zoe led Grant to the building's roof, where they spent a lot of time alone. The women were enraged by this dubious action as it left them standing awkwardly while they waited for Grant to return. Naturally, Zoe felt no regret. Zoe would be playing the part of the season's villain to perfection if she were a production plant. She not only created incredibly amusing videos and sparked online discussions among admirers, but she also initiated a general mood of hostility within the household. This choice was only the beginning of her troublesome behavior. Zoe cut Grant off from multiple one-on-one conversations with the other women, as if this time wasn't enough. Zoe then interrupted Juliana Pasquarosa when she got some alone time with the lead. Ally Jo Hinks was incensed when Juliana gave in and left Zoe and Grant alone. Zoe retreated as Ally Jo barged in and demanded her turn. The concession was short-lived as Zoe stood and lingered before requesting Grant once again. Things immediately heated up. The women were furious when Zoe eventually returned after taking up all of Grant's time. When Ally Jo confronted Zoe, Zoe defended her behavior. The majority of the women agreed that Zoe had crossed limits, which hurt her reputation. Zoe believed she had every right to do so. She gave the game's competitive aspect as justification. A production facility would be expected to act in such a blatant manner. In a montage shot, Grant Ellis from The Bachelor smirks and puts his hands over his lips solemnly. Cesar Garcia created the custom image. Zoe was still unpopular. The women were resentful and had known what she was up to. During the third episode, Serafina Watkins made an admittedly nasty remark as she got up to refill her glass. The remark was silent, but Zoe heard it. Before bringing up the drama with Grant, she yelled at the women. The other women were cruel and taking jabs, Zoe complained. Naturally, Grant agrees with her and says, "You shouldn't stop if being you offends other people." A kiss marks the end of the discourse. She was a flawless player. She pretended to be a martyr while demonizing the other women. Zoe kept Grant's interest and negotiated time with him. As long as Grant doesn't notice, these moves will only increase her chances of taking the lead. Zoe has approached the group dates in a cunning and deceptive manner. She gained even more time with Grant by imitating a rival. Her triumph wasn't indisputable, so this date looked nearly prearranged. She is likely to stay in the competition until the very end. Even while drama is encouraged on The Bachelor, Zoe has been an especially contentious competitor. She has kept a lot of Grant's attention even if they don't have the best chemistry. She may have had great success in her job as a producing plant because of her front-running status. It will be some time before Zoe leaves. As the season of The Bachelor continued to unfold, Zoe McGrady only became more polarizing. While some contestants aimed to form deep emotional connections with Grant Ellis, Zoe seemed determined to outmaneuver the competition using any means necessary. This ruthless strategy ensured she remained at the center of the drama, much to the frustration of the other women in the house. Following the basketball and singing challenge, tensions escalated when Zoe found another way to steal Grant's attention. During the cocktail party leading into the fourth rose ceremony, each woman hoped for a private moment with Grant to solidify their connection. However, Zoe, ever the tactician, managed to capture his attention right from the start. As soon as he entered the room, she immediately took him by the hand and led him to the balcony, ignoring the protests of the other women. The murmurs of irritation soon turned into outright complaints. Juliana Pasquarosa and Ali Jo Hinks, already frustrated by Zoe's past actions, confronted her as she returned. "Are you serious right now?" Juliana demanded. "You just had a date with him, and you still took the first chance tonight?" Zoe shrugged. "You snooze, you lose." Ali Jo scoffed. "This isn't a game, Zoe. Some of us are actually trying to build something real." Zoe smiled, unfazed. "It's The Bachelor. If you think this isn't a competition, you're in the wrong place." Her nonchalance ignited further anger, but Grant, unaware of the drama erupting in the house, continued to be charmed by Zoe's effortless confidence. This pattern repeated itself in week 5 when the group traveled to Costa Rica for a series of breathtaking dates. The picturesque setting did little to ease the growing tension. During a daring ziplining group date, Zoe once again made her presence known. While the women took turns soaring across the canopy, Zoe insisted she was nervous and needed Grant to ride tandem with her. Her calculated vulnerability earned her another uninterrupted moment with the lead. While Grant seemed to appreciate the closeness, the other women were enraged, feeling Zoe's antics had reached new heights, literally. At the following cocktail party, Serafina Watkins made another attempt to address the issue. "You're treating this like a game, Zoe," she said, arms crossed. "And we're all tired of it." Zoe arched a brow. "And?" Serafina exhaled sharply. "You're manipulative." Zoe smirked. "Or I'm just playing smarter." Grant, stepping into the conversation, frowned. "What's going on?" Zoe quickly slipped into her role of the misunderstood contestant. "I just feel like I'm being attacked for wanting to spend time with you, Grant." Grant sighed, shaking his head. "I don't like drama, guys. If Zoe and I have a connection, that's just how it is." Zoe shot Serafina a victorious glance before retreating to Grant's side. The moment solidified what many suspected: Grant was under Zoe's spell, and the other women would have to work twice as hard to compete. By the time week 6 rolled around, alliances had formed. While some contestants simply tolerated Zoe, others, like Ali Jo and Serafina, actively plotted against her. They waited for the right moment to expose Zoe's tactics, but the opportunity never seemed to come. Every time Zoe faced backlash, she twisted the narrative in her favor. Thanks for watching. If you likes this video, do not forget to subscribe my channel and do not miss any update.